been a front of house sound engineer for the last 7 years or so. Today I am working at the Empty Bottle in Chicago. It's one of my favorite venues to go to see independent musical acts from all over the world. I love working here. I've worked here since probably 2004. Tonight I will be mixing 3 bands, and they're all local acts. Support your local music acts. So one particular item that I like working with at the Empty Bottle is the M1 XL, not to be confused with the M1. The XL differs a bit from the standard M1 in that it has XLR connections and it has a few more options as far as effects and processing items. So we have the M1 XL here. It's made by TC Electronic, and it's one of the most standard effects racks that people who are involved with touring sound request. So it's nice that we have it here because a lot of people are very comfortable using it. And there's lots of different options of things that you can do. You can actually route it in such a way that you can send and return 2 separate effects engines to be used discreetly. In a 1-unit rack space, it gives you several options as far as routing goes. So in order to access splitting it into 2 discrete effects engines, you would go to the routing section in the setup section here on the M1, and you would turn your control to be dual mono and hit enter. So now we are in dual mono. So that means that we can access our 2 engines, effects engines, separately and send 2 separate signals to the M1 and return them to our board separately as mono signals. So the next step would be to decide what you want on each discrete engine. So we will go over to the effects section and start making our choices here. And right now we are set to be in a hall reverb mode, and that is what we have on our first engine, and we can make any changes that we want on this engine. It's actually, right now it's on both engines. So let's say I want to use a hall reverb and I want to set the decay to be a little bit shorter than 3.8 seconds. I want it to be about 3 seconds. So I've done that, and I want to set the pre-delay though something a little bit more than 30 milliseconds. I want to set it around 50 because I want the vocals, the dry vocals, to really be more present than the effect vocal, or to hit my ears well before the effect does. So I'm going to set that to 50 milliseconds pre-delay. And let's say I want this one to be a medium-sized room. And I want to set my high cut a little bit lower. I want it to be around, let's just say 4.5 kilohertz or 4.47 kilohertz. So right now I'm just using my control arrows to edit or to scroll through the editing menu or the effects menu. Let's say I want my high color. I'm just going to set that to 0. I don't want any high color and I don't want any low color. So both of those are going to be at 0. And my reflection level, I want that to be, let's say I want that to be at -3 decibels. And I want my reverb level to remain at 0. And I want to have a vintage style modification, I guess that would be. And my modifying speed, leave that at 0, depth at 0, and 100% effects level. So I've got my first engine set where I want it to be, and let's go now to my second engine. So I want my second engine to be a slightly different reverb. I want this one to be a lot longer. So I'm going to set this to maybe 4.5 seconds of decay. So that's quite a bit longer than the 3 seconds that we have at the other engine. Again, just using my arrows to scroll through this menu. I'm going to set my pre-delay quite a bit lower because for whatever reason I want to hear the reverb right away. I don't want to hear the dry signal first. So I'm going to set that to 0. And I set my last size hall at medium. I'm going to set this one at extra large just to have a different style of reverb. And I'm going to, let's just say on this reverb, I want to leave some of those high, some of the high frequencies in. I don't want to cut those out. So I'm going to leave that, I'm going to set that a bit higher. So it's going to be at 10 kilohertz. And my high color, I'm going to leave that, I'm going to go with a preset of 12. Leave that. And my low color, let's see, let's set that at 12 also. So this is just like a preset, the low and the high color are just kind of a preset, I guess, modification on the reverb that adds kind of a darkness to the sound, and usually that's articulated through particular frequencies. Here they just kind of give you a standard number, which is kind of a frustrating thing about the way this particular unit works, because it's not giving you a specific value, just kind of assigning a number to it. But once you get to kind of use this unit a little bit more, you start kind of identifying what each number kind of represents, and it's more like a level send type thing as opposed to being able to specify which frequency you want to represent the low color or the high color. So anyway, we're going to leave this and have it be sort of like a darker sounding reverb, I guess, and we'll set the low color really high. We'll set that at like 50 all the way up. And we'll have the reflection level stay at 0. I think our last reverb we set the reflection level, the early reflection level down a little bit. But we'll leave this one at 0, so we'll have some more reflections incorporated into the reverb. And we'll leave this mod type at smooth. Our last one was at vintage. We'll leave this one be smooth. And our mod speed at 0, depth at 0, and we'll leave our effects level at 100%. So in this way, we're able to have 2 discrete channels of reverb, drastically different from each other, but utilizing the same unit and utilizing only one rack space, which is great, not taking up a lot of room, and we've only spent money on one effects unit, which is awesome as well.